None of our panelists got to where they are today by staying within the mold, so I do think this is a perfect topic of exploration. Welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to jump right in because this is really interesting. And how important is thinking creatively and working creatively as we are in and working our way through the COVID era?
You know, we're in the sports business, and we go out there and we compete and we want to win, and we want to try to do everything we can to give ourselves a competitive advantage. And especially when you're dealing with something that's new, you want to try to be as creative as possible to get an advantage. And that's listening to and learning from what some of the other organizations, you know, within Toronto are doing, and then also what other people throughout the world are doing. And, you know, we ask our staff to be creative every single day. We ask our players to be creative and to problem solve and to use critical thinking, you know, when they're on the field. We always go out with a game plan, but then things change. And, you know, you've got to be creative. You got to problem solve. You've got to figure it out on the fly, which is super important for our players.
I don't want this to be a yes or no question, but I'm very curious. Do you regard this time, all of you, as obstacle or opportunity? Are there unique opportunities that you will take from this? And perhaps things may never go back to the way they were because you'll be able to think this creatively. Ali, I'm going to go back to you on this.
Okay, I'll do my best. I think you have to look at every situation as an opportunity, and that's in life, in all ways. And there's always going to be a challenge with a different situation that you're in, whether you're an athlete or an executive. Different situations that we have away from the field and these types of things. But there are opportunities, and I'll say, you know, you take for granted sometimes the different interactions that you have, whether that's at the training facility or at the stadium and things like that. And nowadays, it's completely different. And it's been, in a lot of ways, I think, you know, our club and the people within our club have really galvanized and come together. And our bond and our relationship as a family has gotten a lot stronger. You know, these types of calls with Zoom and with Skype and FaceTime and all these types of things, you know, the relationships that we have within our club, I believe have been stronger. And it's been really fun to be a part of. And these clubs, you know, they operate best when there is a family component and there is a family ethos and structure around it. And we've been able to talk about our feelings, about what's going on, and we've been able to strategize in terms of when we do return to play, what are some of the things that we can do. And we've all been doing it in kind of this virtual reality world, but in a way that we would have never been able to plan for. It's really been a great experience in that respect, and we've gotten stronger as a club. So all these things we have to look at as opportunities.
Where do ideas come from? How are they cultivated? Ali, you've worked in every facet of this business. You've worked in finance. Where are you pulling your ideas from right now?
You know, number one, I think that I've always felt that, you know, all your ideas are derived from experience. And I think John Locke once said that. And that it's important to really just be active and to keep your eyes open, to listen, to connect with people, to travel, to experience different cultures, different places. And you're really pulling all these different ideas from all those, you know, the portfolio of experiences that you've had in your job and in your life. And you try to put those things together and you come up with new ideas. So really, you know, focusing on the fact that we just need to really be as connected as possible to what's going on in our community and outside of our community. Second, I would say, I've always felt that, you know, we all have experience and we read and we watch and we listen and these types of things. But every person that I've met in my life, I try to go at it with an approach that they're either better or smarter than me in at least one thing. And usually it's more than one thing. But that you have that type of mentality such that when you do meet someone or you work with someone, you can learn something. And they have a better idea, a stronger idea, a more effective idea. And so it's really important, I think, that every person that you meet, every event that you go to, you have your eyes wide open and that you're listening, and there's something that can make your club or your organization or yourself a better person or either a better team.
There is an ongoing dialogue, thankfully, on the topic of racial injustice, and this affects all of us. But all of you as leaders have to also think about this differently. And I'm wondering what your feelings are, what your current mindset is in terms of moving forward and enacting racial justice.
This is really personal for me. It's a really difficult moment, and in a lot of ways it's felt like a lifetime, and things have kind of culminated until what's been going on the last couple of weeks. And so there's a range of emotions. I personally felt a lot of anger and sadness and sorrow, and it's really been all over the place. A couple things. Our club and the people within our organization have been excellent in terms of how we're connecting and we're talking about these types of things. Been super important and super supportive. So that's been fantastic. I agree with Kyle. I think that I'm really optimistic because when you see what's going on throughout the world in terms of the protest, I'm real optimistic in that regard. And I've seen some things and heard from different people throughout the world, throughout the soccer community, that I'm really optimistic, and it gives me a lot of happiness to see the response. I'll agree with Kyle. I think we have to do more. I was on a talk last week, and I said, we really, it can't only be about the protest and the statements, and it can't only be about writing some powerful words in support of equality on your armband or on your jersey or on your cleats. We really have to do more. We have to create some programs that are targeted and direct. We have to invest in the right ways, and we need to be clear. We have to have a vision. We need to then form a strategy, and then we need to execute. So there are all these things that I think are super important that we carry over so that we can activate and really have a positive impact on things moving forward. So much like a lot of people, range of emotions, and really want to impact change. And I'll say this, I'm proud of my players for having a voice. I'm proud of my coaching staff and all the staff within our organization, within our club, for having a real response. And now the work is going to start, and we've got to be more clear. We've got to create those plans, and then we've got to really execute and invest our time and resources in trying to improve and impact change. So, of course, it's been a difficult couple of weeks. It's been a difficult life, but hopefully we'll change some things and we'll get better.